the cash register thief in The Amazing Spider-Man, and you're listening to the Everything Geek podcast.
Hey, this is Rich McDonald, and I play Commander David Mason on Call of Duty Black Ops 2. You're listening to Everything Geek podcast.
Hello, I'm Simon Fisherbecker. You probably know me better as Dorian Moldavar from Doctor Who, or the Fat Friar from Harry Potter. And this is Everything Geek Podcast.
Your attention, masters, mistresses. All systems functional for the Everything Geek Podcast.
Hey, it's James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Master Plo in Star Wars The Clone Wars, and you're listening to Everything Geek, the podcast.
Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot with the Everything Geek podcast.
Hello everyone, you're listening to the Everything Geek podcast. I'm your host Rory, and joining me is co-host Graham.
Hello.
And also joining us today is a very special guest. We have composer Murray Gold, who is best known as the composer of the revived Doctor Who series, 18 episodes of Torchwood, and the theme music composer of The Musketeers and Shameless. So how are you today, Murray?
I'm good, actually. I just kind of woke up.
Yeah, we've all had that feeling before, even in the afternoon.
It's not the afternoon. I have you know, it's 1 hour before the afternoon.
It's a pleasure to have you with us on the podcast.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Virtually.
So getting right into the questions, Murray, my first question for you is, how did you decide you wanted to get into music as a career?
Well, it was more a case of not wanting to do any of the other things that were on offer. I think I probably thought that when you left school, everything became far more serious and adult. And in fact, it didn't do the things that I wanted to do and pursue those things. And I think most musicians, you know, if they get a chance to do music, anyone who likes music, they will just take that chance. But, you know, unfortunately, there are a lot of very talented musicians who don't get to carry on doing music. But I was one of the lucky ones to get through.
Very interesting, thanks for that. My second question is, how were you hired to compose the music for Doctor Who when it was revived in 2005? Were you a fan of the show before you got hired?
I was, yeah. I used to watch... I watched it probably from 1973, when I was 3 years old, until about 1980. And nowadays I always tell Peter Davison that he was the Doctor I gave up watching Doctor Who on.
He wasn't that bad, was he?
I don't know. I literally never saw any of his episodes. It was that Tom Baker was gone. That was it. I'm done. I'm off. Goodbye.
It's like the scarf's gone. I'm gone.
I'm not having it. I'm not accepting it. I refuse to change. It's not like that now, of course.
Yeah. Moving on to my third question. In your work on Doctor Who, you've created a number of scores that are now very iconic, including the main themes for the Doctors and for the companions. Which of your Doctor Who scores are you most proud of?
Well, I mean, I guess, you know, this is boring, but I always say the last one. And actually, in this case, the last Christmas score I was really proud of. But before that, I think maybe the score I loved the most was the Pandorica episodes. I don't know why, I just remember really loving doing those episodes.
Very interesting choices. My fourth question is, for the Doctor Who spin-off, you composed music for 18 episodes of Torchwood. This included some Series 1 episodes and the entire of the Series 4 episodes for Torchwood. Would you have liked to have done more music for the whole show, like done all of it? Or were you happy with only doing the number of episodes that you did?
I don't know, really. I mean, it's interesting because once you start a show, I guess I've had to let shows go before for time reasons, or I don't use assistants like American composers do, so, you know, it's not possible for me to do 5 shows at the same time. But at the same time, it is very hard letting go of a show once you've started it and given it its sound and identity. You know, I think probably in the case of Torchwood or in the case of Shameless, when I handed that over to Tim Phillips in Series 3, I just didn't have time to carry on. But of course, yeah, I would have liked to have done them all.
I mean, once you're passionate about something you work on, you just always want to do it, even if you can't for other reasons.
Yeah, I mean, that happened with the Musketeers too. I just didn't have time to do. I mean, I didn't feel as personally identified or as close to the Musketeer franchise. I think for me personally, when you give up a chunk of time, you just want to you think of it as yours. You get quite possessive, you get quite possessive about the show. You just don't want someone else to be sitting up late at night staring at the characters that you love, writing the music for it, and that's my general attitude, I suppose.
That's a good attitude to have. My fifth and final question is, do you have any upcoming composing jobs or any other projects you would like to talk about? I know, of course, that the Doctor Who Symphonic Spectacular, which begins on May 23rd, is coming up. I want to talk about what it is for people who don't know and where they can buy the tickets.
Well, I think to buy the tickets, you just put Doctor Who Symphonic Spectacular into your browser and it will direct you. I think it's really going to be good. It's the first time it's been on in Australia, I think, 3 times, and we've played with the full orchestra only. But in England, Wales, Scotland, we've only played once in Cardiff and 3 times at the Albert Hall. And so the ticket crunch for the Albert Hall is really bad. It's hard to get tickets, only seats 5,000. So we're going around the UK with the National Orchestra of Wales, who play all the soundtracks. So it's the actual Doctor Who orchestra. And there's about 200 people on stage. There's gigantic videos. I think the music, the sound system is incredible. And it's kind of like the anthemic sounds from the last 10 years of Doctor Who. So it's like a massive stadium rock gig for Doctor Who fans and other people, In terms of what I've got coming up next, I don't know, I'm going to Newcastle with the show, and then I'm doing this ballet in Newcastle. I work with this ballet company in Newcastle quite often. I'm doing something with Russell again at the end of the year. But right now, it's all about